welcome to Minecraft King.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, I'm here with my first video of this channel. I have two other channels I haven't posted on in a while, but this is my first ever, start to this channel. Before we get started, please like and subscribe, but only like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Now, let's get started. So, I'm going to teach you how to build some things in Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. But, both things will work on Bedrock and Java. However, certain features on Java Edition may be slightly different, only because it's a PC version of Minecraft. But, there's absolutely no mods. If I even go into here, absolutely no mods, just the basic mob spawn eggs that they did in Update 2. Everything's plain vanilla. So, I'm going to teach you how to build some things. I watched a few videos, and I can show you how to build a palm tree. It's a very simple looking palm tree, but it's very effective in your builds. And I will even show a build that it's very effective in. So first let me show you. Now, you can build this palm tree as tall as you possibly want. You could build it, let's say this tall, right? You build it like this. Then, you take your lime green. Lime green is suggested, does not have to be used, but it is suggested for this specific type of build, since it is a much brighter green than the others, but this is what it's going to look like. Now, something I would also suggest is you keep in your inventory moss carpet. Now, you can build this in survival too. It may just be slightly more difficult, seeing as how materials won't just be available to you like this in creative mode. And I will show you just a basic way to build a palm tree, which looks very, very good for a beginner or possibly even a intermediate player in building. And I'm not perfect, but I am very good at building for where I'm at currently. And then all you gotta do is simply just put moss blocks, or not moss blocks, but moss carpet across all of those, and there you go. A very simple palm tree. Now, you can curve it. I'm not gonna do curving for the sake of this video, but you can curve it if you so choose to, but I will bring you through a step-by-step as to how I built this. Now, you did just see me build it, but I will give you a step-by-step as a slower process, so that way you can truly see what it takes. So you place one block here. I'm going to make this as an example. Then you do this, because this is just the beginning, right? So then you can choose how many blocks. I'm just going to go up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then you do the same thing here. Right, now granted, you don't have to do these steps. This is just for the video to show you what it takes. And then you can build up by 3. Right, so essentially I will be giving you a step-by-step and a brief showcase on the steps specifically. So you just watched me build these. So essentially, step by step, you place a block, right? Then you can go up by however much you want of these walls, and then afterwards, you can use other wood, but I would suggest using spruce, seeing as how it is a slightly darker wood, but it's not overly dark, but it's just enough to match the mud brick walls. And you don't necessarily have to use mud brick or anything like that, or spruce. You can use other materials, but it looks the most like a palm tree from both up close and far away. And now, all you have to do afterwards, you place your 2 on top of here. You can place more than 2, but I suggest it's better with 2. And then I'm going to copy the same thing here, right? And then your next step, now granted you can skip this step as a temporary, because you can just place glass blocks here and then later place the green glass in, specifically glass panes. Glass blocks won't work nearly as good and won't look good, unfortunately. But basically what you do is you do this, and then all you got to do is, when you have the desired height of your palm tree, and you have your green glass on top of there, then you simply just put on the very edges your leaves. Now, for me specifically, when I think of a palm tree, I think of jungle leaves, right? So, for my sake, I'm using jungle leaves. Now, that's just the base of the tree. And now if I go even further, I'm just counting these blocks to make sure they're the same height. But now you do the exact same thing here, right? So you make the same base shape that I did with the last one. And it's very repetitive, so you will do this multiple times throughout your islands or whatever you're deciding to build, because it's the same palm tree. Now, you can make them look different using different material. But the next step is to cover the top. That way there, because before with the video I watched, all you simply did was cover the top with the moss blocks, or moss carpet in this case. But I figured, why not take it up a step? Because if you look at the way I built this, if you just simply take away these blocks, it looks very plain. The palm tree looks okay. But if you want to take it up one more level, you put these in the top, and then when you go to put your carpet, it covers not only the top, but it also makes it stick out more. And now, with this, right, let's say you did what I did, right? You go up by the 5, then the 3, and then you put the 2 on the top. So then, you go across here, you do all your, leaf stuff that you did with the tree, and all you simply have to do, repeat the same process over again, right? Now, I'm doing this for the sake of the video. It's really not that difficult. It doesn't actually take this long to build the tree, but I'm giving you a step-by-step tutorial so you can see the progression of the tree, and I'm only spacing it further apart so I can build the leaves on top. This was only closer together just to see what it looks like by itself without the leaves. Now, as you can see, I have copied this exact tree over here, but now what you're going to do is you're going to expand on all sides until your tree looks like this, right? And I will spin around it a little bit just so you can see. And this is what it's going to look like. So you're going to have a 3 here, and then 1 in the middle here, right? Take that away, it doesn't look so good. And it's meant to be there. Now, I'm going to skip a step just so we can progress this tree a little further. what you do is you place in the very middle, not here, but here, in this little block right here, you place one right there. So now you're going to have a tree that looks like this. And yes, it doesn't look like a palm tree yet, but that's why I'm showing you how to get to there. So now you space your tree out, and you build up by however many you want. I specifically chose 5 for this build. You rebuild it by the way you built it before. Now, once you learn how to build this, it'll become much easier as you build. And soon enough, I'll be showing you what it looks like in one of my worlds that I am currently working on. I plan to build it into an entire world, and no, unfortunately, I will not be selling it as a mod, but I will, however, be showcasing it in potentially another video once again, once it is more complete. I will be giving updates. Now, for the tree, once you have this basic shape, minus that, once you have this basic shape, same thing copied from here, all you have to do is simply do this, right? So now you have this basic shape. You do that on all flat sides, because then you kind of get that little extra point out. But it's on a lower level, as you can see. It's diagonal going down, almost like a staircase, right? And now, all you have to do is you have to make sure that there's a 1 block gap here, 1 block gap here, and then there's a block here. So now you repeat the same steps here. Now, in the video, it's suggested you use glass panes. You don't actually have to do that. You can just simply place this and this. They specifically did glass panes, but this just makes it so much more easier. Now that you have this basic shape, right, it looks good, and it looks almost the same as mine. You're not really going to tell much of a difference until you go to the top, and that's why I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now, granted, you don't have to add the moss carpet, but it looks way better with it, especially from the top-down view, because then you're not seeing this type of view, because then you're seeing this type of view. Now, granted, I do need to fix that real quick, because this was meant to be covered, but you're seeing this type of view rather than seeing this type of view. Now, for those of you who do like seeing the actual leaves, that is perfectly okay. You know, this build is just simply to show you what you can do as a simple builder and a way to learn. And I am proud to showcase my builds, and you know, I don't really care necessarily for doing it for the profit. Now, granted, it would be nice to make money, yes, but I showcase these builds out of the love of the game, and to be completely honest, I do a lot of building, and some of the worlds I will not showcase, only for the simple fact that I don't want to showcase them. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm trying to help people understand Minecraft better. I'm trying to help them understand building techniques, and with this tree, I'm not saying you have to build it the way I'm building it, but it will help if you start with something like what I build, and you can alter it. So you can, instead of using mud brick blocks, you could go into the woods or logs, and you can change it to spruce, jungle wood, any type of wood you like. Now, granted, bamboo doesn't look the greatest on it, but if you're going for a specific type of build, you can use bamboo, depending on what you're using it for. Now, as for this last portion of the tree, I copied the exact same thing. All you have to do now is just simply place moss carpet on top of all of the leaves on the top where it is placeable, including this middle part. Now, instead of having this view, now every time you look down from the top down view, you get this view. Now, some people, they like the moss carpet on their leaves. Some people, they don't. That is perfectly okay. This build is just to showcase what you can do, and it is just a video that shows you the step-by-step of how to build a tree like that. So, this is the step-by-step, and, you know, it goes from there to there, and it slowly progresses, and eventually becomes something like that. Now, I will show you what it looks like in one of my worlds. And so this is my world that I currently am working on. Right now you don't see anything because I purposely did that for the video so that way you can't automatically see it. And granted, you may think I cheated and may have had someone build this for me. I didn't. And I will say, I'm not the best builder, so I'm not going to brag and say that I'm the best builder in all of Minecraft. But I'm pretty decent for where I'm at. I'm still trying to get better at building terrain and trees, and I'm learning, so these tips will help other people who are struggling much like me. But to show you what the palm trees look like in my build, this is what they look like. So I built this volcano. I won't show how to build a volcano unless if you ask for a video on how to build a volcano. Whenever I do build the volcano, I will not do a step-by-step on each and every single block because that will just take way too long, especially with how into depth this volcano is with the detailing. Now, what I will show you is the trees. So, this is my volcano. I plan to build an entire world using this, but this is what it looks like with my palm trees, and even a little bit of bone meal adding to the grass, and then you add jungle leaves, and as ambience, you add firefly bushes. So when it becomes nighttime, even now you can see them, but it looks even better at night. But now, from afar away, it looks really amazing. And if, for example, you're building something like I just built, which took many hours, by the way, you can also add lava streams. And then in between, now granted not all volcanoes have this, but if you wanted to do this, it's just a fun little thing. You could even add in between the lava streams, you could add trees. I do plan to add maybe potentially some coal blocks as charcoal or as ash or something sitting down at the bottom here, and potentially across the volcano going down here. And also my character is invisible. I have no idea why. I was going to try to show my character, but my character is invisible. But this is what it looks like, though. And so, it's not the most perfect world, but it is, however, a lot better than what I've been building. But let's load back into my other world, and before I go, I will show one more thing on how to build a few more things. Like, I'll maybe show an archway, because I figure if I can show multiple things within one video, it'll help builders quite a bit. Now, you can get rid of the materials you currently have if you're in survival. Put that stuff in a chest. And again, step-by-step tutorial. That is what the tree's supposed to look like over there. This is the step-by-step. I'll even give you an aerial view real quick, so that way you can see the progression of each tree. I'll lower it just so you can see. But that's the progression. And I will even make another video where I show you how to build other types of trees. This video specifically is just teaching you how to build palm trees. And this is just for whether you want to build tropical, if you want to build a city that has palm trees in it, much like Florida, or other cities similar. So it's great for tropical builds, city builds, whatever. You know, you can use palm trees in lots of builds, and no matter what you do, as long as you follow some form of guideline, and if you want to change it up, you can change it up, but if you follow some form of guideline, like if you follow what I build, and then you change it yourself into a different material or different shape, it'll always look good. Not saying my builds look good necessarily, but you can also watch other YouTubers. You can find even the video that originally showed you how to build this, and you can find other videos that are way better than this too. But if you follow my instructions on how to build it, it'll look good, and then you can change it to be your own, so that way you're not directly copying off of me if you don't want to copy off of what I built, which is from a video that I had seen, but I just improved upon it. Because in the original video, it was flat at the top, but I just simply improved upon the tree. And for a basic palm tree, I think this looks really good. Now, onto the arch. I will show you a few mistakes that have been made throughout what I've built when I build arches. Now, what I will do is I will grab spruce trapdoors. So, you're going to want the materials of stone bricks, right? Stone brick stairs, and a spruce trapdoor. And that's only if you're building medieval things. If you're building something medieval, then this is essentially what you're going to want. Now, you can use different types of trapdoors. I just suggest spruce because it looks much better with stone bricks and stone brick stairs. Now, depending on the material you use, whether you're using cobblestone, tough bricks, deep slate bricks, depending on the color and the type of bricks you're using, spruce may not look the best. However, I do suggest spruce only because it looks the closest and almost the best you can possibly get with the colorization of your build if you're building out of stone bricks and stone brick stairs. And if you're using other stone brick materials, much like stone brick walls or anything like that. Now, something I've commonly seen, especially throughout my builds, is that, especially if you're doing just a two-way, right, like you're building like two block, is you do something like that. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a great way to start an arch. However, you can very much improve upon it because, to make it look better, and I would suggest even getting slabs of stone brick slabs. There we go. See, now that looks even better. It's not the most advanced arch, but it's also not the worst arch either. I mean, it looks okay, especially for depending on what you're going for. Now, something I've also seen as a mistake that I've also done is sometimes when I'm building, I accidentally build uneven, so then it looks like this. And that doesn't really look like an arch in comparison to this. And there's no true, really way to fix this. Whether you do that, there's no way to fix it. However, this, depending on what you're building, could look good in some areas, especially if you're doing something like this, which could extend, right? Meaning that your build then gets extended even further, and you could build something like that. Or you could take it away. But for this instance, I'm just going to leave it like this, where it's just simply this mistake right here. Now, as another arch, right, and granted, I'm showing you one height of arches. You can make it as large as you possibly want. It'll still work. Now, because I'm limited on time, I'll show you one of the best arches I've possibly built, and you can improve upon it yourself. You can do some research on videos, but I will show you one of the best arches that I have ever personally built. And all it simply is by placing these. And the reason why I say that is because, like, for example, it's something like this, right? You go down, place a block here, right? And then you have an arch here, right? So, the reason why it looks so good as a arch like this, and granted it's not the best, but the reason why it looks so good in comparison to these is because it has this. Now, if you want to improve upon it even more so, like I did with the others, right, you add a top. But that's also if this is an outside arch. However, if you're building, let's just say you want to build a tall arch, but there's a 2-block gap, right? Or even, let's expand upon that. Let's make it a 3-block gap, just so I have enough room. You can make it a tall arch. You can do this. You can even do this, right? But let's just place these blocks here. Now, you have these here. And now it's a nice tall arch. And now, all you have to do really is just build down by 2, put one in there, and then you have your arch. And it looks really nice because it's a very circular arch in comparison to this. So, that is all for today. And the next time that I come on here, I will show you more builds. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time in my next video. And I hope you have a great day.